Good evening, welcome to Quays News at 5. I'm Eleanor Haynes.
And I'm Evie Rafferty. Coming up on this evening's programme.
Roadworks on a busy Salford route continue to be delayed with impacts for commuters.
As Greater Manchester Police surge into communities with Operation Avro, why are residents still being targeted by vandals?
And as Salford Shopping City turns 50, our reporter Adam Clark has been joining in with the celebrations.
Vandalism strikes Salford as teenagers cause havoc amongst the streets of Weast, instilling fear into the local citizens, Evie Rafferty reports.
As Manchester Metropolitan University struggles to house all of its students, Ellie investigates what options they're giving.
The bold red lettering of Shopping City.
Living in Weast has been targeted on multiple occasions.
Every few weeks, the same group of lads, same group of teens, try and break into my house. Kicking on doors, playing knock a door run, testing locks, testing the back gate. It's something that's been going on for a while now. It's been reported to the police. I have them on photos and video evidence and the lot. But it seems to be happening fairly regularly.
Local citizens are being made aware of what is going on a few streets down from them.
I mean, it is sad that it has happened, and you always think that it's never going to happen to you. But the fact that it has happened means that it's, a possibility that it could happen again. If we live on pretty much the same road, there's a high chance it will happen again, and it probably could happen to me or someone else who lives in the house. But that is absolutely terrible. I can't believe that someone would do that in general. There's just no need.
This case, among many others, have left people in the area of Weast feeling vulnerable. If you have any worries or suspicions, please contact the local police of Pendleton. Evie Rafferty, Manchester.
The bold red lettering of Shopping City is an iconic part of Salford's skyline and turns 50 this year. It's visited by thousands of people every week and is a staple for many. Adam Clark has been to find out more.
As summer draws to a close, universities open their doors once again. But for some Manchester Metropolitan students, it's just not that simple. After accepting more offers than anticipated, the university left some students without a place to stay.
Resident local artist Chelsea Entwistle launched her work at the centre today.
I've been working on it for a couple of months, just more looking into the history of the precinct, what was on there, and more than anything speaking to all the locals and finding out what they loved about it.
Plenty of landmarks are seen in the piece. From Woolworths to the market, it has a memory for everyone.
We can't shy away from obviously pretending that it's something that it's not, but it's such a huge part of anyone that lives in Salford knows it, whether you love it or you hate it. It's got everything on here, and everyone comes here. Years ago I didn't know how many pubs were actually on here. There was a good few pubs that surrounded the precinct, so as well as the market, the whole place would be absolutely full on a Saturday with mums, dads, family members, and it's been really nice to hear everyone's memories about it as well.
It was a chance encounter between Chelsea and Salford Shopping Centre, and it has taken around 3 months to have been completed.
And completely randomly, I came across Chelsea on Facebook one night, a picture of the famous tower above Salford Shopping Centre. She'd done a painting with Christmas lights wrapped around it, and I thought it's quite an interesting angle to sort of interpret the shopping centre. So I made contact with her, and asked if she'd like to get involved in our 50th anniversary. And just thought, wouldn't an artist in residence be quite interesting to sort of interpret the stories of the last 50 years? And she jumped at the chance. It turns out it was one of her dreams.
It's safe to say Chelsea has more ambitions for her artwork in the future.
I'm definitely going to continue painting Salford. Obviously I'm a big Lowry fan, the way he did it, but I'm also a big fan of Anthony McCarthy, who's continued to paint Salford as well. So I'm hoping that it is something that I continue to do in the future.
Chelsea will be doing more at the shopping centre over the coming weeks and months, including some live art sessions. Adam Clark, Quays News.
As Manchester Metropolitan University struggled to house all its students, Ellie investigates what options they're giving.
As summer draws to a close, universities open their doors once again. But for some Manchester Metropolitan students, it's just not that simple. After accepting more offers than anticipated, the university left some students without a place to stay.
Well, I'm Daniel, I'm 19, and I'm studying graphic design at Manchester Met. Well, I originally started looking for accommodation in March, April time, and there was just nowhere available. They said if we stayed in Huddersfield or Liverpool, we can stay there until January, and then there should be some available, but they didn't promise anything. And they said they'd give us, I think it was £100 a month for travel charges. And they tried to sell it like it was a short journey, but it's really not, because like I said, if it's like an hour, because you need to take into consideration walking to the station from your accommodation and walking from the station to your lecture and trying to get there on time, and obviously trains are pretty unreliable now with delays and everything, so it just wasn't ideal at all. I feel like when they heard me over the phone, they were a bit dismissive and a bit like shut me down quite quickly. The private ones were pretty bad, I can't lie. It got to the point where I was thinking of just deferring a whole year. I mean, I haven't really got the type of accommodation that I wanted, because I wanted like a lot of flatmates and an ensuite, and I'm in with a shared bathroom and one flatmate.
I contacted Manchester Metropolitan University for a statement, but they failed to get back to me. Dan Rodriguez is one of a few lucky ones to have found accommodation. But should students be the ones to face the consequences for the university's miscalculations? Eleanor Haynes, Manchester. The Aisley Green Colliery was a staple for the community for over 6 decades before its closure in 1970. It has since been brought back to life as the Lancashire Mining Museum. Harry Cohen went to find out more.
The Lancashire Mining Museum sits on the site of the old Aisley Green Colliery. Boasting Lancashire's last surviving headgear and Europe's only twin tandem compound steam winding engine, the museum really is one of a kind. The colliery opened in 1908 and had a lifetime of 62 years before closing its gates in 1970. But thanks to volunteers like Billy, it is open for the public to enjoy the many artefacts they have all over the site.
I restore the oil lamps. I look after the lamp room, and people bring the oil lamps in and we clean them up, restore them, get them working again. We don't charge a fee for it. We ask for a donation to help the museum out.
Several of the volunteers, like Billy, have experience of working in the mining industry and throughout the miners' strike and closures of the 1980s.
I went to Old Boston training on the training gallery at Bold, and then I ended up at Crompton Colliery at Liverpool. Moved to Bold Colliery when that shut, went to Burr Colliery, and I finished there about 1995. So I did about 25 years down the pit.
When you come to the Lancashire Mining Museum, there's so many amazing things to see, like this. The last surviving winding engine in Europe. Built in Burnley, this would hold 19 tonnes of coal in 2 minutes.
I'm currently on the railway, which runs on Saturdays and Sundays 3 times a month. It goes for a quarter of a mile that way and a quarter of a mile back. This loco, built in 1979 in Leeds, pulls the man riders to the other stop and back.
The railway is run by enthusiasts like Joe, who see the importance that the museum holds to the local area.
It's a huge part of our identity and also what we achieved as human beings. You know, we could, when this colliery were built, you know, we were the workshop of the world. We could build and make anything, and I think it's important to remember that.
The museum is open 4 days a week and is free to the public.
Good afternoon, I'm Izzy.
And I'm Holly.
We are bringing you the top showbiz stories from the last week.
Love Island star Molly May Hague has announced her first pregnancy with her boxer Tommy Fury. The couple posted a heartwarming video showing her baby bump last Sunday. Fans say they suspected the pregnancy months ago, although it is unconfirmed when she's due. Harry Styles' mother Anne Twist has commented on her son's new role in the Don't Worry Darling movie starring Florence Pugh.
She wrote on Instagram, "Well done Harry Styles for being a fabulous Jack. Very proud as usual. The film is now out in all cinemas."
Have you got your Halloween preparations well underway? Because Doja Cat sure does.
The singer posted a set of spooky pics to her Instagram feed showing her wearing a pumpkin-themed bikini top.
With the new energy cap coming into place on Saturday, Johnny looks at how people in Salford feel about the government's handling. Following the success of the Lionesses,
gas and energy prices are still at an all-time high. The new Prime Minister Liz Truss recently announced a new package of measures to help support the cost of living crisis, including a cap on energy bills and a cut to income tax. But what do people in Salford think of this? And do they think anything more could be done to help with the crisis?
We've got trade deals with them.
Peter Radcliffe, a retired Salford resident, believes more can be done.
Everyone's talking about getting through this winter, but unless there is cheap energy next October, next year, I think it is going to get increasingly difficult, and I suspect she can't keep subsidising.
On Monday, Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer announced that the Labour government would set up a publicly owned energy company to help avoid further crises. But would people in Salford back Liz Truss's policies or Keir Starmer's? Still vote for Conservatives. What about the whole energy crisis at the minute? Would you still be inclined to vote for Liz Truss next time or Keir Starmer?
No, I won't vote for Keir Starmer.
I would have voted Labour before. I believe their policies and their morals are sound. There's nothing in the world that would make me want to vote Conservative about it. I'm seriously worried. I mean, in some ways I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel like it.
In a statement, Salford City Council has provided help to households on low incomes with over £600 worth of funding to help towards household bills. As October the 1st approaches and the new cap is introduced, many people may still be worrying if the worst is yet to come.
A BBC panorama investigation has revealed a toxic culture of abuse at a mental health hospital where students from the University of Salford had been on placement. Any students from the Uni of Salford who have been due to carry out a placement there have been offered an alternative option by the uni following the undercover reporting by BBC journalists.
Andrew Fell is the head teacher of North Huddersfield Trust School, where a 15-year-old was fatally stabbed outside. We hope you enjoyed the show.
See you next week. Good night.